Good morning, Edge of Philly sports fans. We are live, and man, um, huge day in the Philadelphia sports world yesterday. The Philadelphia sports landscape. Win, guys. Mike, first of all, good morning to you, sir.
No, that is a total violation. Good morning, but
I can't say good morning to you.
if your daughter didn't pick that shirt out for you, it is unacceptable. What the hell are you doing?
I'm here to brighten up your day. I can't wear blue shirts apparently, so I feel I can brighten up your day by doing this and wearing a pink shirt.
You have four sports teams that have four different sets of colors. Plus, you can go
and you
basic
pick
white,
yeah,
basic
and you
black.
pick highlighter pink.
Well, I will explain myself, because it was a good.
There's no explanation.
No. Good morning, Al. So listen,
It's been like forever since I've seen you.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So guys, it's just like I said, it was very good. The Flyers win, the Sixers win, but most important, the Eagles take care of the Giants. And all week, we had to hear do you ever have like a fly in your house or a bumblebee that's bzzz, bzzz, all through the week? That's all you heard in your against your mini blinds. And then guess what happened last night? Splat. Down goes the Eagles. Down goes the Giants defense. Down goes Daniel Jones. Down goes Saquon Barkley. Splat. No running game. Daniel Jones getting muffed up. And if you want to go movie terms, it was like the scene out of Bronx now. The bad bikers stumping up all these bars. They come into South Philly. My man, Nick Soriani, goes up to the door, locks it, and tells Brian Dable, your boys ain't going nowhere. They got thumped.
Wow, any more ethnic Italian movies you want to reference here? Like, why don't we just throw Rocky in there?
Yeah. I want you. Oh, what does Mr. Smitty have to say?
I'm waiting for you, Pat. Just say my name is Pat Bernard, a.k.a. the Gobbler, and I was wrong about Jalen Hurts.
Ryan Smitty, I've admitted it. I enjoy your show on Sanbu First. Good show you guys got over there. But look, I've told you many of times I was wrong. I can admit it. I thought that, look, you can only take it game by game. When I saw last year, I didn't see the progression. There's only one man in this room that I can't say because I didn't work with Al prior, but
it wasn't me.
But I will go to Mike. Mike's the only one that I know of has told me, my fat-headed brother, to give this guy a chance, to give this guy an opportunity. And I was set on this is who he is. And Mike said, give him a chance to work on his mechanics and you'll see improvement. And he did. So
the main reason that I thought Jalen would have a better year. Oh, and by the way, good morning, Schmitty. So me and Schmitty, we don't agree on much, me and Schmitty, but we do agree on this with Hurts. I just felt like him coming back to the same offense for the first time ever in his career, he was going to get better because he was familiar with it. And if you take a look, if you're watching Jalen Hurts this year, you definitely see that the game has slowed down for him tremendously.
Yes.
Like, he's not making those same mistakes he made a year ago.
And to your point, how about last night? How about on the first drive? My man goes 5 for 5 throwing the rock. I mean, where he wanted to go was pinpoint accuracy. Devontae Smith down the field, Goddard across the middle for the TD. I mean, how do you want it? How do you want it?
I'll tell you what. Talk to your brother, okay?
That's what I'm talking about, Walter. It was a hat trick yesterday with all three teams.
Oh, right. There's my boy Stevie from Mass.
There he is.
Boy Payne says, "Sup, Slate? Congratulations on your rat pigeons." He's just, listen. Anybody who's got a name, Mass, Mass Holian, you already know. But you know what? Listen, I'll tell you what. You know what stood out to me yesterday?
Frank is awake.
Yeah.
Oh my
Good
God,
morning,
Frank was so. Let me just do this real quick.
Go ahead.
Thank you, everybody who came out to Kelly's Corner Bar last night and hung out with us and enjoyed our entertainment. We did a pre and post game live from there, and we had a great time from doing the shows and in between watching the game together with everybody. And the food there, by the way, was amazing.
Oh my God! I will tell you one thing about Frank Franken, who's obviously a veteran of that place, the Kelly's Bar. Knows his food because he pointed me in every which direction. And for you listeners who's checking at the show, go there today for a playoff game because they got some amazing food. And man, my belly was loaded with meat yesterday.
Listen, yeah, this dude, like, he showed us yesterday why he's called the gobbler. Like, he don't have hands at the end of his.
Can we start calling him the swallower?
Yes.
I don't think I've seen him.
He
I don't
didn't
think I've seen him chew.
He didn't chew. Yo, I never saw, like, they had jumbo. I guess you guys had the jumbo shrimp that Frank.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, I've never seen somebody take a piece of jumbo shrimp and one big swoop was in his gullet.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I can handle some big meat.
Yeah, and that was before the food got there.
Yeah.
But yo, Frank.
Yo, you just broke him down. That was the first.
I'm just saying, like, yo, and also too, Frank had a great time. Frank is like, he is the norm of Kelly's. Like, he's the mayor.
Yes.
He's the mayor of Leicester. That's what I was calling him last night. The mayor of Leicester. Because he knew everybody in there. It was a great time. It was a great atmosphere. So, guys, if you're around the Leicester area or the Delaware County, I can't talk this morning either. Make sure you definitely stop in Kelly's Corner, man. It was a great time, and the food was out of this world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those cheesesteak egg rolls were.
Oh my gosh, were a banger. But yeah, let's get back to this game here. I mean, again, bubble screams. I mean, the play calling
yesterday. That's the point I want to make, Pam.
Yeah.
Kind of reel me back to reality here for a second after we were talking about food. The Eagles look like that. The Eagles offense looked like they came with an attitude yesterday.
Of course.
No, but I mean like a major attitude. Just look at the first, which, by the way, I told your brother that he was going to go deep. And your brother's like, nah. They're going to run the first 3 plays. I said, first or second play, I said, they're going deep. And he sat right back and looked at me. But when they threw that ball to Dallas Goedert out on the flat, and that's my boy John checking in.
I love you can be tired of the Eagles all you want.
Oh, the Solly checking. What's up, Joe?
Ain't going
the John.
But no, man, listen, it was pretty cool, man. John, go back to bed.
Yeah.
I love him to death. He's not
absolutely right, Smitty.
He watches football occasionally. He's just breaking my stuff.
Top 3 tight ends in the league.
I'll tell you what, he set the tone though.
Yes.
When we were watching that opening drive, Goddard set the tone. He took that Giants defender, and I believe it was McKinney. He took McKinney and just it was either McKinney or Love.
Yeah, with the
Love.
Yeah, it was Love. He mugged him like, get out of my way. You're not stopping us tonight. And to me, that was a tone setter.
And I'm sorry if I'm being a little biased here, but I felt like the game itself was trying to buy the Giants time with the phony chains, the breaking, the Daniel Jones needed contacts. The worst of them all was the timeout. On my way home, I was listening on the radio from the bar. I was listening to the timeout. Apparently, the Giants called a timeout, but it was like an official timeout. I'm like, wait a minute. So
they gave a timeout.
It had me scratching my chest there. I'm like, what's going on?
They called it an administrative decision.
Yeah.
That's like saying.
So what
do you do for work? I'm an industrialist. What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, again, it was buying the Giants time. It was, again. But anyway, it didn't matter. Like on the way home, like I said, I was riding with my brother. He was already sweating bullets. He's like, "Oh, this could turn out." I'm paraphrasing. He's like, "This could turn out like the Chargers game. Oh, you better look out. This could it could be down to a 2-possession game. They have to, you don't know what's going to happen." I said, "Chuck, relax,
chill, bro.
Yeah, he was kind of
like worry about.
Yeah, biting his nails a little bit.
Here's my thing: is worry about it when it's worth worrying about. Like,
I
kind of live my life. Like, I'm gonna listen. Is there always the playoff game? Could an upset happen? Like before it happens, you're just like, oh, anything can happen. That's what makes sports. Like that's why we love watching it and determine any given Sunday.
If you start worrying, I mean, like he didn't seem that way to me when we were sitting there watching the game while you guys were doing the while we were all watching the game together. But like it was just really funny. Like he kept John, I want to kill you. For those who don't know, John Linder Jr., he plays the role of my manager for wrestling. He's Father Flanagan, so he's the guy you see next to me in the promo pics. So that's John. So, but I'll tell you what, what really got to me yesterday was the defensive line. Like I felt, you kind of almost felt empathy for the Giants.
Yeah.
In the first half, you were kind of like, all right, listen.
I think because they remind, and we talked about this last night, but they remind us of us
a year ago.
Here's a team that has a lot of blemishes. There's going to be a lot of guys that are going to move on from and guys that were gonna build around, and they had a struggling in the beginning of the year. Then they kind of cleaned themselves up and then really came alive, and they make it to the playoffs and they get a nice win, and then just we didn't get the win, but just get demolished by the opposing team. But like I said, I didn't know. I don't think even the Giants fans, even though they had a nice win against the Vikings, it's the Vikings.
Yes,
It's a
a
paper
team you don't
tiger.
believe in.
Yeah.
Dude,
So, and again, they came in with they came in and their fan base. They walked in here with their chest pumped out and all that stuff. Again, 4 sacks for the Eagles yesterday. And how about back-to-back sacks where my man Daniel Jones coughed up the ball?
Your man.
Yeah, I know.
Is that why you're wearing a shirt?
Yeah, pink shirt. There's our boy Freddie Burns checking in. He said the Giants stink. The media tried to hype them up and make it look like it could be a game. Anyone who watched the Giants play this year knew they freaking stunk. Nothing to worry about outside of injury. Great stuff, guys. Go Birds.
Thank you, Fred.
I'm going to disagree with Freddie a little bit because, the way I look at it with him, with this Giants team, they had a lot of guys that were banged up. Like last night was probably the first time that they were fully kind of healthy. You know what I mean? So to sit there and watch what the Eagles did to them is impressive. I'm not going to say that they stink. I'm not going to sit there and say that they stink. They made the playoffs and they got to win. Frank says it's right. Frank's got the best one right here. The Eagles put the NFC on notice last night. They sent a message.
Not just the NFC. I think the whole the whole league.
Because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not looking at Kansas City or Cincy, whoever wins that game. I think the Eagles can match up with both of them.
Yes.
Like their hardest test is going to come the winner of this Dallas.
And I agree with you. I totally agree.
Like I'm not scared of Buffalo. I'm not.
You're right, Fred. I had it backwards. We started off sluggish and came alive.
They were
started off
6-1.
hot and then got sluggish. But like my thing is like you said, I agree with you. They came out. I agree with Freddie in the sense that they said they did hype them up.
Yes.
That's on purpose, so you don't sit there and go, I don't want to watch this game because
well, they have to. I mean, listen.
But hold on one second. Like, I think what they thought was that we were to come in there fat, dumb, and happy, having a week off, being the better record, and we thought we're gonna, they're in our hometown, and we're gonna just kind of skate through it. We were hitting them harder. We were in their face. They couldn't tackle us if they wanted to the first time. I mean, that Dallas Goedert touchdown, he should have been dead to rights at least 5 or 6 yards prior to the hit, and he just barreled through it. And you saw it. All of them did it. They all played hard. They all played like this was the Super Bowl against a team that we all knew, and even they probably knew in the back of their heads was an inferior team.
Right, and again, I had no scare of this defense. Kenny Gainwell, 112 yards rushing.
On 12 carries.
On 12 carries with a TD. I mean, there was nothing to fear with this Giants team. And I go and I agree with Freddie here. The media and everyone surrounding it was pumping their chests up and pumping.
But Pat, what do you think they have to?
Yeah, right. And I agree.
That's for marketing. But
right.
You can't take away from what the Giants did either. The Giants were a 6 seed, and they went to the number 3 seed and knocked out the number 3 seed in their house. So no, you got to give them that respect.
Yeah, and I hear you. I hear you on that, but I still didn't believe in them. I still didn't believe not 1 ounce of I was scared to death of the Giants. The little sample size of success they were giving you. I was not crying about it.
Yeah, I mean, last night to me, like I said, to me it was a statement game.
Yes.
To me, it showed that they put not only the other teams in the AFC on notice, but they also put the NFC, the winner. Like I said, they put San Francisco and Dallas on notice too. Guess what, boys? You thought we fell off. Well, now we're healthy. And I listened to Lane Johnson after. If you saw his interview with Pam Oliver after the game, I saw it this morning. And I'll tell you what, that dude, he was like, yeah. He goes, as the game went, he goes, it loosened up on him. Like, when we first saw
it, you saw it early in the game. He was kind of like,
limping,
grabbing at his stomach a little bit, kind of hobbling a little in Merle. Like, a lot of us had that gulping motion at
we were
that
like,
time.
oh, here we go. But he was like, he said, as the game got going, he said it loosened up, man. And he goes, it's something I'm going to have to play with. He said, but he goes, it's not as bad as I thought it would.
And that goes for hurts too. Everyone was worried about that arm and all that and the soreness he was going to have, bringing into this game, and nothing. And he showed you, he's he's a statue out there. He's great. He's like a Greek god throwing that rock around. So again, and how about James Bradbury come with a nice solid pick again? I alluded to the pregame show last night.
His third pick.
What's up, Dave? What's the deal with Sirianni on the 5-yard line arguing with the ref?
Because he tried to call a timeout and the ref wouldn't give him the timeout.
Right.
That's what he was arguing about.
So and back to James Bradbury. I mean, like I said in the pregame show, he wanted make a statement on his whole team. You know what I mean? He definitely. You know what I mean?
Oh, Bradbury. Listen, this is the thing is and I know people are like, oh, they're not getting disrespected. People and we said this before, and it's not, and it's like I always make the joke, like there's people in the world that you can like tell them, like, listen, I'm about to say something that it's gonna offend you, but it's not true. I'm just saying it to piss you off, and they'll say it and you'll still get mad at you. I'm talking about my wife. And the thing is, that's what the national media does. They know that if you offend Philly's
going to come back.
Yeah, and any of the other teams are going to stroke themselves. Giants fans are going to stroke themselves. Dallas fans are going to stroke themselves.
But and we do it not with words. We do it with action. Like again today. I mean, last night, 38-7. That's probably the biggest blowout so far.
Listen, that if you think about something too, yesterday was the 5-year anniversary of the NFC Championship game back in 2017. Also, same score, 38-7.
Yeah, we pointed that out the post game.
Yeah, we were pointing that out, but I was like, ooh. CJ Nichols.
Do you think the Dallas will even beat the 49ers? I do
too. I think the Cowboys can definitely beat the 49ers.
Yeah.
The 49ers, to me, I'm sorry, they have yet to play. The only team that can put up numbers that they've played so far was the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chiefs rolled them. Remember, guys, this is the same 49ers team that lost to the Bears in the opening weeks, okay? Or opening week. It's the same team that...
Yeah, but opening week to now is two different teams.
Listen, they've been winning for 12 straight games. Guess what?
Well, that's the point. That's the hard thing to keep going.
Yeah, they're not going to keep winning. Like, it's either this week or next week, dude. They're getting...
They got 3 games left to play.
They got 2 games.
Brock Purdy's going to get caught up in some kind of,
Listen, I don't care.
Rookie mistakes.
If you also look at it, they have not, and I know people use the same excuse with the Eagles, but since Purdy's been in there, they haven't played an elite defense.
No.
Correct.
Even a top 10 defense in any which way.
Top 15. Top 15 defense.
They have, they have to play from behind a lot. And if you have to come to Philly and you get behind in the link.
This is what I say. This is what I say when I talk to people that I know who cheer for the Niners that try to throw up, oh, well, we're coming. Okay, you can come, but just know that you guys haven't, you guys haven't noticed that they haven't played an offensive line like the Eagles. They haven't played a defensive line like the Eagles.
Look at Dave worried about our coaches outside the coach's box.
Dude, listen, if you're trying to get a timeout, you can run down the field.
In high school, they barely keep you in the coach's box. You think in the NFL?
Yeah. That coach's box thing is nothing.
Mike wants the 49ers. Like, here's my thing.
I want Dallas.
Here's my take on it. I said, I think we get satisfaction watching Dallas if they lose today. So that means in 24 hours, we would watch 2 of our least favorite teams in the NFL both get knocked out of the playoffs.
Right.
But at the same time, the angry Eagle fan in me would love a whole week of Dallas week, the third. I mean, listen, I said to you guys last night, or maybe you weren't, during a post-game show, I was talking to Frank and Mike, and I said, we know the cockroaches for what they are.
Right.
Cowboys fans. And they start chirping and chirping over frivolous wins or barely wins or if we lose or something like that. The chirping will be at an all-time high.
Twitter's going to be a war.
Yeah, and exactly.
And let me tell you something. This sets up for something that has not happened as far as I can remember in a long time, probably in the recent era, and could maybe be a long time ever happening again, where you would have both Dallas and Eagles in an NFC Championship game. If whoever wins that game, it's going to settle a lot of arguments.
Yeah,
because we argue all the time. You haven't won anything in 30 years, and you haven't. You only won like 3 or 4 playoff games. Oh, you guys won 1 Super Bowl. You got lucky, all this stuff. I mean, this would settle a lot of arguments, a lot of, Dallas fans will chirp, Eagles fans will chirp, but it would, in my eyes, it would be like, this would be like, there's that dividing line that fan base can hold on to for a while.
Exactly. And my point too, it's now like again, the first game they didn't have Dak. The second game they didn't have Hurts. It is Dak versus Hurts with a full healthy roster. No ifs, ands, or buts. Let's see who wins. Let's see who's the better team. No argument, no excuses. Let's go head to head, 1-on-1. You know what I mean?
John is a good promoter. I can see this.
Oh yeah, that's my boy. Dude, listen,
There
he
you go.
will spread the word like
Thank you, sir.
So,
Make it itch, I always say.
yes.
Purdy's gas never faced Slay, Bradbury, Gardner Johnson, and our D line. That's
Correct,
true.
Mundo.
Their offensive line has gotten a lot better over the weeks of the Niners, but they still aren't the top offensive.
Listen, once that one matchup I would love to watch on that would be Trent Williams going up against would have them going up against Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham owns Trent Williams.
All right.
Owns him. So
thank you, Mike.
And I'm looking at it like this. I like I said, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the 49ers. I don't care if it's the Cowboys. If it's the Cowboys, it's extra juice. It's a division rival. We don't like them. They don't like us. And what better way than to kick their ass and send them home? Because to be honest with you, I don't feel like Dallas is on our level.
And
I really don't.
And here's another thing. It says Hurts has weapons, and they say Purdy has weapons. Even Dallas has some weapons. Let's give it for it. I think no matter what, it's going to be like a old Godzilla movie.
Yeah,
there's just going to be wreckage left around you. Like it's going to be.
And now we'll see if again with the way this team's flowing, we'll see if that can put up another 40 burger on this defense. Because I don't know if that can happen now. The way with the momentum with the team,
they think they're going to come out and treat them like they treated Tom Brady and the Bucs. They're already lost. And that game's over.
Dude, Skip Bayless last night was like, "Oh well, we hung 40 on you last time, and we're going to hang 40 on you again." And I'm like, "Dude, you gave up 34 to Gardner Minshew. You gave up 34 to Gardner Minshew. Like, can you imagine what's going to happen with Jalen Hurts being somewhat healthy? Like, we embarrassed them that first
with
game.
Lane Johnson."
And Lane Johnson playing. And you already know once Lane is playing on the field, you can kiss DeMarcus Lawrence goodbye. DeMarcus Lawrence disappears. That dude is the biggest. I call him Ghost because when Lane Johnson's on the field, he's gone.
Back of a milk carton?
Back of a milk carton. And, Micah from, 11 from heaven. I love my Penn State brother, but guess what? Eagles made him look stupid in both games this year.
Correct, Mundo.
If remember me, Cowboys put up 40. The Cowboys get a sack in that game against the Eagles. The second game against Gardner, they didn't touch him.
Yeah.
He was clean. What do you think is going to happen? You give Jalen Hurts a clean pocket like that. Jalen Hurts was going to put up another 3 touchdowns.
And that's what, like, again, you're talking about back to this game where everyone was worried about, Daniel Jones is mobile and he can make moves on splat. Just splat like a bug. He was nothing.
Listen, Daniel Jones got away. He got away.
He got rocked in the pocket last night.
He got rocked in the pocket on 3 plays, Pat. Go back and look at it.
Yeah, I did.
Go back and look at it. He got out. He got some rushing yards.
He got some rushing yards.
He broke containment a few times. But here's the thing. If they were able to limit their damage with him.
He was their second leading rusher last night, 6 for 24 yards.
Yeah. I mean, Barkley was going to get his yards. We knew that.
Yeah, he was 9 for 61.
So, I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
But when the problem with the Giants last night is, and I'm going to be honest with you, they didn't have no playmakers on the out. They didn't have nobody to throw the ball to. When Ricky James is your leading receiver, that's an issue.
Well, again, it goes back to what you allude to. This is what the Birds do. They shut down your run game, so you have to go one-dimensional. And the secondary of this Eagles team will shut down your wide receiver core.
Gabe were good last night.
You know what's really good?
Oh, here we go. Sherry tickets, man, guys. Go to EOP. Tell them, use the promo code. Save yourself 10%. Guys, sporting events, concerts, theater, you name it. Go to Sherry tickets. Get yourself, a nice deal. If you guys have an upcoming concert you want to go to, such, sporting event, whatever, use the promo code EOP and save yourself a 10%. That comes a long way.
Yeah, and don't forget, because the game that's coming up next week, there's going to be impossible to get tickets.
Right.
Forget the other guys. I'll tell you right now, there will be no hidden fees. When you see the price on the screen, it's the price you will pay. You're not going to check out and go, oh, there's an additional $150 a ticket you have to pay. Nope. You won't get that. And like Pat said, EOP 10 will get you that additional 10% off. So go now and get your tickets for this upcoming game.
And of course, since Pat's coming in here wearing this bright highlighter shirt of his, and it really hurts your eyes, and you really feel like you need compensation because you have to look at it, just reach out to my man David Cherry. Really good with workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law, because it is Pat should be arrested for wearing that shirt in public. So make sure you reach out and call him at 610-565-0300 and tell him EOP sent you.
And don't forget cherryinjurylaw.com if you want to check out more on what Dave does. And to go along with it, guys, we talked about getting to the NFC Championship game for you, but there's also a chance you can go to the Super Bowl as well with no risk, all reward for you, because you're like, I don't want to go. I don't want to sign up and then find out, like, okay, maybe the Eagles lose and I'm stuck going to watch two teams I don't want to watch. Well, it's okay. If you go to phillysportstrips.com, you can sign up for it right now. Put your deposit down. Your deposit is 100% fully refundable if you cancel by, I think it's January 31st. So if they find out they're not going, just go cancel, get all your money back. If not, you'll be locked in to go with them to the Super Bowl. And from what I understand, spots are closing down fast. So go get locked in, and you'll be good to go. And that way, now you can go to an NFC Championship game with Sherry'sTickets.com, and you can go with PhillySportsTrips.com to the big game.
Yeah. So again, guys, if you're just checking this show for the first time, you're hanging out. Send us your comments. We want to get to you, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, however. Send in your comments. We want to talk about today's game, or last night's game, rather. I call it the aftermath with all Philadelphia sports teams. But again, going back to this game, and how about Brian Daboll for quote unquote, being a great genius? Well, he goes for on fourth down, takes a gamble, and winds up getting sacked for it. Daniel Jones winds up getting rocked by Hassan Reddick. So, again, this game was already lost in the trenches with the Birds. So this team, after that I felt like after that sack, after that, the sack early in the game, I felt like the game was already lost for the Giants.
Yeah, they were just like I said, they were having trouble running the ball. They were having trouble running the ball. They couldn't throw it. It was basically like to me, you know what it kind of reminded me of? It reminded me of my childhood watching Randall Cunningham. And what I mean, like a young Randall, I would say probably like 1988 circa Randall. That's what Daniel Jones reminded me of. It was, hey, go out there and go try to make a play.
Right.
That's what it looked like for the Giants. I just don't think they have the right pieces in place right now to do that. I think they're on their way because, as much as people want to say the Giants suck, dude, listen, you made it to the final 8, dude. They don't suck. You know what I mean? And they're going to be good for the next couple of years.
Listen, a team that can make it that far.
Look,
it's like Tampa Bay, because their division sucked. Like that's one time you could have listen. The NFC East by far was one of the toughest divisions. And two teams came out of it.
Yeah, they made it to the stage again. The NFC East. What you guys are saying. Three teams. And if you really want to stretch it, the Commanders really weren't behind us at all. So, but again, you see what the Giants need to do. If they feel like Daniel Jones is going to be that guy, you need to go grocery shopping for him, and give him some wideout pieces, and then they
exactly
could be.
What Howie did this year.
Yeah, exactly. Look, the home supervisor checking in. What's up, Jamie? Oh boy, Mike's in trouble. Pelt looks like a big bastard. Shut up, Smitty. You mind your own business.
He looks like a highlighter. It looked to me like Daniel Jones is on his way. He couldn't get things going offensively. I hope he becomes a quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. I hope they trade Dak to Minnesota, and
oh my god,
and if you move Daniel Jones down there.
Wow. So again, like I said, the Giants had a nice fairy tale story, but all good things come to an end because that's what happens when
you can take a little bit of solace in this. My kid's a Giants fan.
Oh yeah, I'm taking shots at all Giants fans.
Wow, don't do that. Don't do that.
No, because you don't understand. I understand your part because your son's one, and you love him. Well, I have a cousin who's a creep. He's a loser. And
Well,
all
then
those.
fine. Then you dog him, but you don't
Yeah,
dog
well,
all Giant fans because listen,
well, right. Like I said, I understand where you're coming from, but that weasel I get stuck with, and I got to work with him, and he's in there
all you,
buzzing my ear.
all you got to do is look at him and go 38-7, bub.
And let me ask you guys a question. Oh, Mike, please stop. Not happening.
Yeah, okay, Dave. Guess what? You guys are so like Cowboy fans kill me. Okay, and I'm gonna say not all Cowboy fans, some of them. They bitch and complain about Dak, right? They don't want Dak there. All right, they don't. And yet, I'm sitting there saying Daniel Jones is a free agent. I can see Dallas if they don't win, if they don't go to the bowl this year, I can see them really doing some things to shake things up. Yes, he's owed a lot of money. You know,
Well, let me ask you guys, and come back to my question. Yeah, I totally agree, Smitty. Let me ask you guys a question. Where does this rank as far as beatdowns on the Giants for your Birds? I mean, we saw, the magical comeback from Michael Vick. We've seen the miracle in the Marylands. Where does this rank to? Because it's got to be top. This has got to be one of the top beatdowns I've seen the Eagles give the
I mean, you
Giants.
go look at the NFC championship game last year or 5 years ago. That was one of the most epic beatdowns that nobody saw coming because all we heard was that Minnesota defense is really scary, the offense
Yeah.
is really good, blah blah blah, and they came in here and it was kind of like last night. They set the tone with the pick off, this pick six, and then it was just all downhill from there from
a lot of
Minnesota.
people,
So
a lot of people forget Minnesota scored first.
yeah. So like we all had that gulping moment, but then it was all downhill for Minnesota. So if you want to talk about epic beatdowns for the Eagles in prime moments, I mean, and it's a game that takes them to the Super Bowl and then ultimately wins their first Super Bowl. I still think that Vikings game has to be top tier.
Yeah, right. I mean, for the Eagles and the Giants, though. I mean,
ultimate Giants just beatdowns.
yeah. I mean, this has got to be ranked up there. It's at least got to be top 5 now.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it was in the postseason, the fact that there was no chance that team was winning. I mean, that game was dead at halftime. They had to get four touchdowns just to tie.
Yeah, I mean,
And doing that, getting 4 touchdowns in a half of a football is hard. Most games don't go past 28 points.
And know what I love about like last week, you saw a bunch of Giants fans. We're up in Minnesota singing "F the Birds, F the Birds, F the Birds," and now they're not even watching TV today. They're crawled underneath the rock. They're under, they have no room to come up for air. So that's why I like Ryan Smithy. Yeah, Art Lawrence will be hiding somewhere underneath the rock. He's another loser.
Listen, man, I'll tell you what, man. For me, I think it ranks up there.
Yeah,
I mean,
like I said,
this rivalry's always had some type of quirky,
Yeah.
a lot of quirky endings that always seem to go in our favor. Like my kid said it best Friday night when we did his show. He said, he goes, I've never seen a team that gets so many lucky breaks that go your way. But my rebuttal to him was, yeah, we were getting all these miracles. I said, but you guys were winning Super Bowls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it kind of trades off a little bit. So
yeah, again, like I said, good time to be an Eagles fan. Mike, final thoughts on this Eagles win and moving forward.
it was a dominant performance. The back end, a lot of people were bitching and complaining about Slay and the way he was playing over the last few weeks. I think he answered a lot of questions. Last night he was all over the place. It was good to see. I thought Reed Blankenship had a great game last night. That kid's coming a long way. That might be a safety of the future for the Birds, where it's just a lot of small things, man. Gardner Johnson looks like he's back playing. Like a lot of rust was knocked off, and the offense just came out and punched him in the mouth and just said, "All right, let's go, game on." And by halftime, I remember looking at Al going, even with the Giants getting a rest, their defense is gassed.
Yeah.
Like they had no Dexter Lawrence, Williams, they had no push up the middle, man. And Alojiari, he was quiet. Thibodeau, as much as I say he's a bust, I got to give it to the kid. The kid played his heart out last night. He was probably the only Giants guy that was getting some type of pressure on him. And like I said, you got to give the Eagles O-line credit. 3 pressures. That's all they gave up all game to that Giants defense was 3 pressures.
And to piggyback off you, F the Giants, F the Giants, F the Giants. Thank you. Didn't show everything possible. Yeah, listen. And I'm going to piggyback off you, but real fast, Al, let me give your perspective on what happened last night. And what's your statement moving forward?
Uh, we got a lot of questions answered last night, especially from the health standpoint. And that, like we said earlier, kind of put the rest of the league on notice that the Eagles that they thought they knew in the middle towards the end of the season, then we started having injury bug kind of sneak up on us. And everybody, will the Eagles be healthy enough to play in the playoffs? You know, they thought maybe it'll be a quick way that the Eagles get knocked out because it's just not no Jalen Hurts, no Lane Johnson, no Avonte Maddox, and all the other little injuries that came along. Well, the only one we haven't seen yet is Avonte Maddox, and I would not be surprised to see him next week. So they answered that question mightily last night. Jalen shoulder problems. He looks great. Lane just looked like he was having in less pain, which is the weirdest thing as the night went on. I would love to know how he feels today. But like I said, ultimately we're a very happy fan base to see a I won't say super healthy, but a healthy team that looks like they are poised to make a run, and it's all about timing, boys.
Let me ask you a question. I mean, since we're still talking football before we move topics,
Yeah.
who do you guys got in today's games?
Well, I got the Cowboys winning today. I got the Cowboys and Bengals.
Cowboys and Bengals. What about you?
The Bills Bengals.
Sorry, Fishbolden.
Yeah, the Bills Bengals game is kind of like I think that can go to. I think both games could come down to who has the ball last, but I definitely with the Bills Bengals game, that has a lot of emotion around it. The whole game that never got played. The Damar Hamlin.
He's supposed to be there today.
Yeah, he's supposed to be on the sideline today. The Bengals have a lot of injuries on the front line. And that's kind of why I would probably tip my needle to the Bills a little bit more today. And that might be the only reason I'm going to lean towards them. And they have home field. So the needle's not moving much out of the middle. But if it's going to lean somewhere, I'm going to go with the Bills. For some reason, I just think the Niners are a really good team. And I think Brock Purdy has done some magic. But if you see, it's all about it's the inconsistency of Dallas that makes this game hard to pick. If it's the Dallas, every other game they want to show up for, then they're due for a loss. But if it's the Dallas that showed up last week and has showed up in big games over the last year versus the Niners, I'm going to lean towards Dallas on this one.
Yeah. So
I'm going to go with Cincinnati. I think Cincy's got enough to get it done. And I'll tell you what, I like the Cowboys in this game. I think Brock Purdy's magical carpet ride comes to an end.
I'm with you.
Because I like I said, we've been saying about these defenses, Dallas got some ball hawks on that back end. Okay. They also got Van Der Esch back. He can cover, Wilson can cover, Wilson can cover Kittle. You know what I mean? And I think Dallas's line can cause pressure. So I can definitely see the Cowboys winning this game. And it's not that I'm pulling for the Cowboys. I could care less who wins the game. But
it's just your guts going with
my gut.
I'm with you.
The whole thing is if you look too, every time this year the Cowboys have been counted out with something, they've kind of hung.
Their record speaks for themselves.
I mean, I remember sitting here at this table, right when Dak got hurt week 1, and we were sitting in here with the Patterson Avenue guys, and they were all worried about, there goes the Cowboys season. And I said, not so fast. I said, the Cowboys can still run the ball. They still got 2 good tight ends, and they got a good defense. I said, it wouldn't surprise me if they actually turned around and started winning. So I think Dallas probably got the best chance. I mean, besides the Birds, of knocking out San Francisco. And I'll be honest with you, I think Dallas is better than San Francisco, to be honest with you.
Right. And so, so back to my earlier question, I want to see if you want to piggyback off this. So, my whole thing is about yesterday's game. What I took away, statement game. Like Al was just saying earlier, the questions have been answered. Jalen Hurts looking fine. The soreness of him has been washed away. Lane Johnson.
We know.
Yes, Lane Johnson, battling through an injury, but making a statement. You saw the war face paint on him. He's ready to rock and roll. He's again that Instagram post that he made. He's pissed off. He's pissed off that people thinking this is going to be a pushover. Number two, about last night's game. I watched Don Martindale, the DC, the Giants' DC defense coordinator. I saw him puzzled. He, right after maybe 2-3 drives of the Eagles, again he's huddled up on the on the on the sidelines with all the with the defense trying to go over some plays, and the guy looked puzzled. After the helmet shot, he pretty much washed it away. He looked puzzled.
Okay, well, guess what? Then that's where you got to tip your cap to
the Eagles.
You got to tip it to Sirianni and Steichen.
Yeah,
and listen, I want this to be a magic carpet ride, but I mean, looking in the future, man, this is pretty scary, dude. Because we could end up losing both of our coordinators. I mean, I'm pretty much sure.
Yes,
I'm already relegated to the fact we're losing Cannon. Cannon's going to be the next coach of the Texans,
right? And like I said, last night's game, the Eagles come out, they make a statement, make a blowout statement, saying we are the team to beat in the NFL. Come through Philly, you're gonna have an issue. So them, wash away the Giants with all that pump and all that hype and all that stuff. Wash them away. Jalen Hurts goes off. Like I said, making pinpoint throws. Dallas Goedert, whether it be Devontae Smith, somebody was open to catch some balls and then run up the gut with Kenny Gainwell. It didn't have to be Miles Sanders. Kenny Gainwell, like I said, over 100 yards of rushing.
Listen, a good O-line can make any running back look good.
Yeah, and that's what you need. Like I said, the world of a difference.
But once again,
with Lane Johnson,
Miles Sanders, just not to harp on this any further, but Miles Sanders, he got some extra yardage. Like, he fought through a lot. Like, he took most places would be a 4 or 5 yard game.
Ologiari, he took him for a ride.
Yeah,
he took him for Ologiari hit him about 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, and Miles Sanders took him another 6 yards.
Exactly right.
So I mean, to me, it's just like I said, they came out with an attitude. They got to do that again next week.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who the opponent is. It says the Giants are horrible. They only look good because Minnie's defense is worse. Maybe, Bones. Maybe, man. I mean, I don't know.
But look, let's talk about another team. Again, last night, the Sixers, who've been on the West Coast trip, winning 5 straight on the road. After that horrible loss to OKC, the Sixers have turned it up a notch. And last night, they did not have the dynamic duo of James Harden and Joel Embiid. And yet, being down 21 at half, battled through and found themselves beating the Sacramento Kings, who are not your typical, like last year, a pushover. They came in last night and battled this team without their 2 major stars and won that game last night. Kudos to this team. Kudos to Doc Rivers.
Now, and kudos to anybody who stayed up to watch it.
That game. Yeah, because after we got done, like I said, I'm not going to lie, I put it on, and probably within minutes, that game was watching me.
Yeah, like it was when we were packing up from the show, and time I got home, I was listening to it on the radio, and then by the time I got home, I told you guys, I put it up on my little screen right in front of me, and they were down. They were down like it looked like the game was a wash. Like we said, they played a lot. They've been playing really well, so they were due for a loss. And you're missing your 2 key guys in Harden and Embiid. So the odds of a comeback just didn't feel like it was in the cards.
But they did, man.
But waking up this morning and seeing some of these numbers, I mean, and that's the thing is you see some big bench numbers, and Tyrese Maxey with 32 points.
Maximus.
How about Harold?
Montreal Harold.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing great. He's a great fill-in for Joel Embiid. I mean, again, getting rebounds, just taking care of business in the paint.
Yeah, what was funny, right? Me and Frank Finnegan were talking last night because he kind of came at me about my takes on Embiid, and you know what? This kind of just proves my point though with Embiid. You know what I mean? No Harden, no Embiid. Sixers rallied back from 20 down
and beat a contender
and beat a contending team. Like Sacramento's in the playoff picture in the West. They're not some slumps, and they just won 6 straight going into that game. So this kind of validates my point a little bit that you can trade Joel Embiid and still be a good team. But
yeah, and then you got, like I said, you got Sixers scoring in transition with Montreal Harris. Like I said, this team, Montreal Harrell, I'm sorry, is very, very good defending the rock. They are very, very good. And again, like you say, you count this team out early, and they just battled. They battled.
I'll tell you what, Shake Milton too, dropping in 15 off the bench.
Yeah, he definitely.
He did.
The Milton the Mountain, the Anthony Milton connection is very, very good. They find each other on the perimeter, wide open. Taking drives, dishing out to the paint. Dishing out to the 3-point line. However you want it. Jordan Niang, 6 Sixers yesterday in double digits.
Yeah, man. Yeah, listen, you got to give the Sixers credit, man. You're going in without your two big guns. You get down, double digits, over 20 points, and you come back and win that game, man. Like that's a booster for them.
I mean, I like I said, I didn't watch the last. I guess I've been last quarter a little bit of the game. I missed most of the fourth. I missed all the fourth, maybe a bit of the third. I couldn't tell exactly when I nodded off, but like just looking at the numbers alone, it you got production. So this is the thing that the Sixers have always missed was that bench. That bench.
Yes.
It's like whenever you lost one of the big five off the
there was a drop off.
There was such a drop off. Guys would score like 10 points on a good night, maybe. But when you see like they're sitting out. We saw this, when the injuries were kind of hitting Embiid, Harden, and Maxey. The guys stepped up, like 17 points from Niang, 15 points from Milton, and like you said, Melton 14 points, Tyrese with 32.
Yeah.
Montrezl Harrell was 17, and Tobias was 17. Even Paul Reed had his 9. It makes you. I think the Sixers have been kind of overlooked between the Phillies run and then the Eagles continue their run, and now in an NFC championship game. So it might not be till about the trade deadline for the NBA that really they get the full focus of this fan base, but they are quietly right now sitting in second place.
Yeah, someone might want to look at the Boston Celtics. Look in your rearview mirror.
Well, they're still 4.5 games.
But I mean, the Sixers, like you said, are slightly, just under the radar, taking care of business. Again, like me and Mike talked about this past summer, the key thing to work on for the Sixers, bench help, bench depth. Get the bench right. And in the beginning, it didn't go well. But however, they've now gelled together. And being on this West Coast where they're bonding off the court made this team even more stronger.
How do you know they're bonding?
Huh?
How do you know they're bonding?
Well, actually, I'll give them this. There's been reports because like even Joel, they said like Joel wouldn't always go to line, do things with the team. But he has been, and I think that is a bonding thing.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I didn't hear nothing about it. That's why I was looking at you like, how do you know they're bonding?
And that's the one thing I think that's been missing because of the turnover this team has had every year. There's, my partner Joe Sheeran points it out a lot. He goes, like I said, I always was not a huge fan of Brett Brown because of, and it's a whole different story. But it's not against him; it's just against the losing mentality that he brought because of what they had to do. It wasn't his fault, but. Then they would keep bringing in new players year after year after year, so that the whole gelling didn't get a chance to happen. And I think part of it is because like maybe Embiid and that was just like, I'm not going to get used to any of these guys because they could be gone. But I think he's wised up and said we need to be a cohesive unit.
And he's become a more and more leader every year. He matures. And that's
he's still got his baby moments too. So I mean, I'm not.
Just because you're an Embiid hater. That's what
I'm not a hater, dude. Listen.
You're the only guy in the whole entire Philadelphia region who wants him gone.
Listen, he has his diva moments. You can't take that away. I mean, we can't put blinders on. You can't crucify.
Well, we can't put blinders on. Did you see the shirt he's wearing today? I'm about to pull my hat down like this. Like, dude, come on, seriously.
What if I just flex a little bit? No. But anyway.
Flexing, Bone.
Fat. But anyway.
But just so you know, the Sixers only have 2 games this week coming up.
Was it Brooklyn, right?
Brooklyn.
That's going to be.
And then the Nuggets on Saturday. All at home. I mean, they got a 4-game homestand, and it's a 2 nights against the Magic. It's funny. Like they play the following Monday, and then the following Wednesday against the Magic. At home. It's not
they did that down there too.
Yeah. Up in Detroit too.
Yeah,
they just did that. So again, and let's talk about that Wednesday matchup going against the Brooklyn Nets. I mean,
it's a little kind of lost its luster now, right? With KD
being injured,
and you see that they're not. I mean, they're 5 for 5 in their last 10.
Yeah, they're
I know.
Titanic.
Yeah, I get it. They've been on a 4-game losing streak prior, but I mean, last night they go against I'm sorry, Friday night they go against the Utah Jazz. Uh, Kyrie Irving dropping 48. He dropped 48 on that Utah
Yep.
Jazz team. Even though the Utah Jazz is missing some key players, but still, um, you know, you made a statement without KD there, and we all know what Ben Simmons brings. With his passing skills, his passing ability, his ability to drive to the net, whatever he wants to do. I'm intrigued to see the matchup. Even though, again, like you say, KD's not there, and you want the team at full strength so you can beat the team at 100. But escape of the bean. When a guy makes a statement dropping 48, and Seth Curry come up crucial on Friday night against the Utah Jazz.
I miss him. That's the cat.
Yeah.
That's the only dude I miss. Really off of the Sixers bench from a year ago was him, and that dude to me is just he's money. Like that would be a guy I would look to bring back here.
Well, I mean, I don't know how long he's under contract this year with them.
Just this year.
Just this year. Okay, I wasn't sure if next year was in the cards. I mean, yeah, and I like Curry, and it was a shitty thing that he had to do. That they had to go, but and I still don't understand the trade to this day for Harden, how that all worked out. But whatever, it is what it is, but he can be replaced. I'm sorry, he can be replaced.
Yes, totally agree. So I mean, again, going against this Brooklyn team coming in here, we've got to hope that the Diamond Goo will be ready for them, which I think they will. And we'll see what MB is going to, Ben Simmons is going to do, because now you have to be on the floor. Now there's no excuse because you don't have one of your best players there. Now you have to see if you can hang with your old teammates. We'll see what you can bring.
I think Ben's going to be just fine. It's not like he hasn't played it. You know what I mean? It hasn't like this isn't his first time back. So
yeah, but he barely played the first time. He got the boot birds.
Yeah, but he got booed out the building. So he's already been through that. So like coming back here now, it's just he's got to play.
He's just a normal guy.
He's just a normal guy. He's just a part of the Brooklyn Nets now, and it's not the same venom. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Sixers fans down there
they're going to boo.
They're going to boo. But
at this point, it's just like now you don't like him because he's on a team that's
a rival.
He's on a rival team, and he's on a team that right now it's a tight race. It's still a tight race. I mean, we're in second place, but they're only 1.5 games behind us.
Right.
So I mean, and you got the Bucks who are a game behind us, and then you got the Cavs who are 2.5 games behind us. So the Heat are right the next one down. So the top five, it's 6.5 games between the top five, but the Celtics have a nice commanding lead over the division at this point right now. They're 4.5 games above us,
right.
Number 2. So, I mean, that's my point. Is this is a tight race when you compare it to the Western. You got the Nuggets and then the Grizzlies at 1.5, but then the number 3, the Kings, who we just beat, are at 6.5 at number 3. So,
there's more.
This is my thing: is if everything plays out, it continues to play out this way. This might be the best chance the Sixers had in a long time to actually win, not just get past in the second round.
Right, and that, again, upgrading your bench can make that happen. And the way this Diamond Goo is playing at this time could make it happen. And look, and we love it. We've been baby now since October with playoffs and making championship runs. So let's keep it going and let's stay optimistic. And that's how I feel right now. Let's see if this team can make something happen. Which like I said, keep it on the radar, keep all the eyes on the birds and all that stuff. And then, like I said, let's just keep on sliding up the rankings in the East. You know what I mean? And let Boston Celtics know we're right on your heels for that number 1 spot. Oh man, Sixers, Birds, Phillies is there for a better time to be a sports fan. Yeah, and look, don't count out the Union. The Union are right there too.
I think he's asking, was there any better time? I think the closest I could think of was maybe the 80s.
The 80s.
No, 1980. That's all 4 teams made it to.
Yeah.
I was 4 years old. I don't remember the Eagles Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I remember the Phillies World Series a little vaguely, but I don't remember the Super Bowl. I don't remember the Sixers losing to the Lakers. I don't remember. I didn't remember none of that.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch that game? That show on HBO about the Lakers. That was about the 80 Lakers.
Yeah.
It's actually a good show. It's
It's
it's very dramatized and all that stuff. But
it's pretty cool though.
But it is about the 90s. But I mean, the 80s, like the early 80s, Philly has a pretty dominant sports town. I mean, in '83, the Sixers won.
The Phillies were in the World
The
Series.
Phillies won the World Series. The Eagles did well in the beginning, early '80s.
Yeah, and then the Flyers were right there.
were very
Yeah.
dominant too. I mean, in the '80s, it was 86, 87 when they lost to Calgary in the or the Oil. It was Edmonton
They lost to Edmonton 85 and in 87.
in '87.
85 they got blown out. I think it was like 4-1
Mm-hmm.
or maybe 4-2. They lost, but then they came back. They had that great series in '87.
Right. So again, 5 straight road wins. I want to go back to the Sixers. 5 straight road wins for this team. You know, you beat the Lakers, you beat the Clippers, you beat the Trailblazers, you beat the Kings. Now, again, without your dynamic duo speaks volumes. And against a third seeded Western Sacramento Kings team who's been playing very, very good with DeAndre Fox. You know, guys who've been scoring from them, and you come up when you're down by 21 points early in the third, and you're battling, and you give these guys a problem. Like I said, you know, Sacramento Kings yesterday were pretty much taking care of business in the paint. Jump shots here and there, and you know, some perimeter shooting, you know, from a bunch of guys, and the Sixers found themselves battling with them, going toe to toe. Maximus just in stride.
If you any other really big point you want to take away from last night's game was, like I said, yeah, you didn't have a Harden Embiid, but they were also down. They were never out, and obviously
Right.
won. And like that's the big key factor here. Like that means like even if you're down, like I remember I told people the story all the time when the Phillies were just in 08, in 09, 10, they were just that good. They were like scheduled time to sit down and watch baseball. I remember actually because I was getting a sleep study done and I'm watching the game and they had a lights off moment, like you had to turn the lights off, like because the sleep study had to start. And the Phillies were playing the Dodgers and they were down 8-1 in the beginning of the ninth. I still didn't want to turn that game off. I not that I felt like they were going to win. I'm like, you can't count this team out. And what happened? They came back and won 9-8. They scored the 8 runs they needed in that ninth inning.
Right.
We all know the Jonathan Broxton story where he just gets shelled every time by the Phillies.
Dude, they're crazy.
And I want to go back to your point though, Al, about this team. Again, Montreal Herald stepping up big time for Embiid. You know, taking care of business in the paint. You know, guys who are actually stepping up.
His thing is consistency at this point. If you
Right.
could have more consistency, I think that because there's certain nights he's just like
He's off.
and he's not good, and then you could see it.
Yeah, but every time
That's
that
kinda where I think maybe the trade I miss a little bit more than anything is Andre Drummond.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yes.
he was Mr. Consistent in my eyes. Maybe not from the scoring, but he was
Defense.
defensively.
Yeah, but so far as of late, every time Embiid's not on the court, this guy's stepped up, and you're getting a good ball play from the guy.
Listen, I understand. I mean, if you're a Sixers fan this morning, you have a right to be happy. They came back from 20 points down to beat a really good team. But let's keep it honest, guys. Like, really, I want to see them do this in May, not in February, not in January. I mean, we've already did the whole number 1 seed, right? You know, they've been up and down the board.
I hear what you're saying.
And like, I'm sorry, I just can't. It's a good win. It's a good momentum builder. Now these guys know that they can win without Harden and Embiid. Okay, that's great going forward. But I mean, I don't care where they end up. You know what I mean? Just as long as they get to the tournament. You know what I mean?
Well, they'll definitely be there. But listen, let's say good Sixers win. But let's get to another team who's been winning in the city.
Can you actually begrudgingly winning? Because like people,
Yeah,
I hate to say that because I've kind of fallen into that category. Like
I know. I've listened to you. I've listened to the Freddie Burns, the Matty B's, and I get it. And my man Joe Sullivan, well, he's actually got on my side of the fence, and I get it. People want this team to tank.
it's not about tanking. I've always put that out there. I hate tanking.
I
just want them to lose. Is that weird? I don't want them to tank, but I want them to lose.
Well, here's the thing: the more they lose, the more ping pong balls they get. But if you're taking a look at it, really, there's only 2 teams right now that are underneath the Flyers. It's Montreal and Columbus.
Right. I mean, again, in the standings, they're not really climb up the ladder here. But however, they're only 6 points out from a wild card spot.
So I mean, dude, everybody's 6 points out. I mean, it's hockey. Half of the league makes the playoffs. So, I mean, you can't. I don't know. I mean, you can't.
I mean, if they can look,
If you get in, you know they're going to get waxed. I mean, when it comes time to play Boston, they're going to get waxed. We saw that.
and that's your first invitation at the door. You're going to have to deal with the heavy bouncer.
Right.
So, but then again, you don't know if Boston's going to slow down. You don't know this stuff. You know, the Flyers.
Come on, Pat, get your homer glasses off, dude.
I'm not being a homer, Mike.
Yes, you are.
No,
you're going.
You know Boston's a damn good team, and I hate saying those.
Yes, look.
That hurt me to say.
Dude, they're going to listen. They are going to represent the Eastern Conference in this.
We don't know that.
Look at my face. They are representing the Eastern Conference in the Stanley Cup. They're the best team in the.
I got it. They're right now. They're the hottest team
in the NHL. Like
hottest team right now. They could slow that down.
Oh,
listen,
come on,
they don't just have good guys who've been around for a while. Their rookies are good. Everything's good.
Dude, they have
even the Cowboys are the best cowboy in the NHL. Like,
dude, their leadership
good.
on that team, like the Flyers wish they had a quarter of that leadership.
I understand that. Look,
no,
and then
come on, no, you pump your brakes. Pump your pink wearing shirt brakes right now.
Yes, and pump something else.
Yeah, well, that's on you and you whatever you do.
You didn't feel that?
No, I don't feel little things. So yeah, I look at it like this.
That's what he asked his wife.
Yeah, right.
You don't feel that?
She'd be like, "You feel that? Feel what?
The beeper?"
Yeah, but no, they're not. Come on, like you really, you got to pump your brakes on that. Listen, they're playing good hockey.
Yes,
they are, and they deserve to be talked about. Yes, some people want them to not win. Me personally, I could care either way because
I think that I was mentally prepared for it this year.
Yeah,
like I was so mentally prepared for them not to win, and then the Connor Bednard situation, like that made it even more. Okay, you know what? If they're not going to win, at least there's a pot of gold at the end of this shitty rainbow.
There's a few pots of gold.
Yeah,
like I said, you watch that junior hockey tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Team USA's got a ton of good players. Canada's loaded with good players. Like I told you, the one kid, Donato, I think his name was, or Donato from Canada. Dude, that kid's a flyer. That kid is a flyer.
Right. So but I mean, like again, look at yesterday's game. I get it. They get waxed by Chicago. Chicago's actually not playing bad at all. They won 5 of their last 6 games. Chicago's been playing. They got a great defense. So again, the Flyers taking an L to them. But however, playing against the Red Wings yesterday, going up in Detroit, again, not much scoring was going on, from both teams.
2.5 periods.
For 2.5 periods, but
last 10 minutes must have been great. Like if you guys, whoever caught the last 10 minutes of that game, probably was like, "Woo, this was a good game."
Yeah.
No, I mean, again, you watch the game closely, you see the turnovers that the Flyers were calling in the neutral zone. They were trying to get creative in the offensive zone, and then it started paying dividends in the third period when Kevin Hayes found Scott Lofton between 2 defenders, very nice pass, and then Kevin Hayes and Scott Lofton goes top shelf on Husso, the goaltender for the Detroit Red Wings. So again, very good solid play from both teams. And how about my man? I can't help it. I'm a big fan of my man Travis Konecny.
Yeah.
Konecny's playing.
He was hitting yesterday. He was setting guys up for assists. He finds no case for that goal. Again, Travis Konecny is going to be your future captain.
Okay, that's fine. Now, you want to give Carter Hart some love because he stopped 30.
And listen, and again, and immediately that game ends last night, and my phone's blown up by my man Adam Popple. You got to give Carter Hart, props on your show.
Number 1 star of the game right here.
Yeah, and listen, I'll give him. He's again only let one goal go by. What did he stop? 30 out of 31. Okay, he played very well. I give him that. But the part that I don't know, and I'm scratching my chest here, is that they send down Sam Harrison down to the Phantoms, and they bring up that dope Felix Sandstrom. Okay, well, the guy hasn't played since December 13th, and he got smoked. He's 1-6 on the year. What the hell do you need?
Hold on.
Because we're paying him.
Hold on. Can I take this one? Sure.
Good. Lay it on me, Al.
I'll say it again. Why is it crazy that they brought him up? Why do you think they brought him up?
Because they want a tank? I mean, is that behind the ambulance?
Bingo!
I mean, what? But like,
they don't like. It's great that they say, "Oh, we have a nice goalie in the reserves." Okay, great. Get him out of here. Send him over in the AHL so he gets more playing time to keep him sharp. But they don't want to win.
Right now, it's obvious.
Coaches and players don't tank.
Right. Well, we're going to throw cold water on my Red Rocket. because it was up for a while. Now all of a sudden it is just splashed down. It's tucked under.
You mean it's pink rocket because you're wearing pink today? There ain't
Mike,
red
if
about
you can
you.
see underneath the table,
No, I don't want to look underneath the table because that's a no-go zone for me. Thank you very much.
it's enough fly zone over here.
Yeah, no fly. Yeah,
Keep your fly away from.
yeah, right.
It's exposed.
Listen, the only
I'm
time,
going full commando as we speak.
listen, the only time you see Pat with a big smile on his face is when he's talking about meat in his mouth and red rockets.
Yes, a good time with the Blue Oyster. But anyway, again, when I look at this Flyers team, they were only now I'm befuddled because now you bring up this dope, and you're playing against one of the hottest teams in the NHL,
Hold on.
second best team
Hold
in the on the
Before
West
you start
Coast.
calling them dopes, you also got to realize too that
They're dopes.
the Phantoms are also they also have a pretty good team, and they're
Okay.
they're pretty much fighting for their kind of playoff lives down where they're playing. So
Who gives a crap about that?
they do.
Oh, Allentown?
Yeah.
Big whoop.
What do you mean big whoop? If they make the playoffs, knucklehead, it's more income.
Right, I get
You
that.
got to look at it from an organizational standpoint, Pat.
I need to know. I need guys who can play in the majors, not in the minors.
What do you need the kid up here for?
Because he can play. The other stuff you have going
You're
on.
not trying to win, you dope.
I understand that. Now I understand.
Oh yeah, it only took a boulder to hit you in the head.
Yeah.
I mean, so they're going to send their decent goalie, young, and another thing, he probably has options to keep sending back and forth. Where this guy Sandstrom, or no, the other,
Yeah, right. You got it right.
Yeah, the Swiss cheese.
Right.
Yeah, Swiss probably got. He's only got a certain amount of numbers between call-ups, where
he's getting paid.
Right, where Sandstrom probably doesn't have.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So they got to do their options.
Again, and you're
Like
going
you're looking at it because you want them to make the postseason.
Yes.
I don't.
I've been spoiled so far, Mike. We've been spoiled with the Phillies, the Union, the Eagles now.
Hey, look,
The
4 out of
six-
5 ain't bad, bro.
Yeah, I
4
mean,
out of 5 ain't bad. Like we can't get them in them all. You can't get them all.
that's what I want, Mike. I want more parties, more good times.
You're going to have more good times. I mean, the Phillies are good. The Sixers are good. The Eagles are good.
Not this lost organization.
Come on, bro.
You got a GM that's pretty much ruined this team.
Oh yeah, let's blame him. It wasn't.
Chuck Fletcher is.
Hold on.
It wasn't like the regime before him did screw.
Yes.
Well, you want that too.
There's been a lot of screw-ups in organizationally for the Flyers over a long time.
Over like 20 years,
Yeah.
bro. Come on, stop.
But here's my thing is, so the Flyers are playing well as of lately, right?
Right.
Are you going to give Chuck Fletcher any due, or is it just they're playing despite Chuck Fletcher's moves?
Even though Chuck Fletcher was the one who hired John Tortorella, but you're not going to give him no love.
No, I'll never give him no love.
No, well then that's stupid. I mean, you can't do. I'm sorry, I'm going to rephrase that. I shouldn't say stupid.
It's all right. A lot of people call me that.
I know, but still, man, you're my boy, and I shouldn't do that.
Here we go. Matty B chiming in. Let me school you. The Flyers have 3 goalies on the roster due to injury situations. Erson is on a standard 2-way contract, meaning you can move back and forth. Sandstrom is out there, those options, so they send him down and need to clear waivers first, so they could open for every other team to grab. It's a contract thing. Okay. All right, Matty.
Thank you, Matty B. Matty B, wait, I thought Matty B was supposed to call into the hotline. Is he available to call in?
And he probably just woke up, bro.
Yeah, probably. He's up in B-Town.
Yes. He's up there watching good hockey.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, know what I mean?
But getting back to this, that's what I was meaning by like the options of him being. He's probably had more options to go back and forth. That's probably why they did that.
Correct.
So, and of course, but
so let me ask you: both teams are coming off, games from last night. The Jets played Ottawa. They played Ottawa. They spanked Ottawa 5-1. They again a team that can score. They got a loaded roster. Can the Flyers pull this one out tonight? And if they do,
I think so because really, if you're looking at it, they're coming in from Ottawa. The Flyers are coming back from Detroit. It's like almost the same time flight.
Mm-hmm.
So both teams probably got in around the same time.
And like I said, I watched their game against Ottawa, and their timing and their passing, and the way they get creative in the offensive zone. They could cause a variety of damage.
The problem with them is though, same thing, like their defense and then goaltending is their issue.
Right, and they're going to feast off Felix Sandstrom tonight. They're going to feast off him. I mean, look, I hope I'm wrong. Maybe this kid wants to prove something tonight, and hopefully the Flyers don't get fatigued. So,
Well, you got to remember, dude. Like the Jets are going to be fatigued too.
yeah,
Like,
they're going to be just as
I
fatigued.
mean, they're coming from basically, dude. Detroit's right before the border. Ottawa's right over the border on the other side of New York. So, like, it's basically how they're coming back. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they had to fly down, and Flyers had to fly across. So, both of them had.
If they win tonight, are you going to be on the let's get to the playoffs?
No, because
Listen, I think this team making the playoffs is a big old waste of time.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. It's
Al.
I love Flyers hockey. You know that. I love the Flyers. I love when they win. But I've bitten on that apple one too many times. Oh, they're making the playoffs. Oh, great, they go in there and then just get walloped. And what happens? They make some ridiculous signings, stuck in some stupid contracts,
Right.
and they don't bring up. And their talent they bring up is either not being trained right, or just not being evaluated right from the get. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of them sneaking. I don't need false hope from them. There's the chances of the Flyers winning the Stanley Cup this year are 0.00000001. Okay,
Right.
My point to that is I don't want it. I'm not here to kiss my sister. I'm here to win championships. Yes, this city has become championship riddled. Okay, we have championship aspirations. I mean, the Phillies.
Right.
Nobody even saw the Phillies going to the World Series last year.
Frank did.
Frank did have. He did make that call like in June or July, might I add.
Right.
It was like right when the coaching change made. So I'll give him credit. But nobody really thought. They thought maybe make the playoffs, maybe we go to the next round and put up a good fight and get some experience. No, now we have high expectations there. I am not in. We are Philadelphia. This is why we're angry.
Mm-hmm.
There is some cities out there that would be happy with, well, we made the playoffs, so we did really good. Like, take Minnesota. If Kirk Cousins was in Philadelphia, he would have been chased out of town a long time ago.
Correct.
For how bad he made that. Listen, he actually had a good game. Like, he had a decent game.
Yes.
The defense really let him down until he threw a 3-yard. When they were, 4th and 8, he threw it 3 yards and thought he could get something out of it. That's the typical Kirk Cousins moment. My point is, we don't want to just make the playoffs. We gain nothing this year about making the playoffs.
No, what you do is you knock yourself further and further out of getting the ping pong balls. And what you want to do is you want to stay within the ping pong ball radius because it will bode well for you. So, with Al Flyers hockey, it's a big empty for me. I've dropped my ticks. Luckily, they can fly under the radar this year, given the other 3 teams. Yeah, Steve, you're right.
Yeah, I'm with Steve.
But here's
they know that. I mean, the organization knows. I'm like,
dude, you can go to a Flyers game now and get tickets at the box office. So when was the last time you could do that?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I mean, I'm getting ready. I'm going to take my kids. I was looking to bought like a family package or something for like a 1:00 game. I can afford it. It's very affordable, and I know I'm going to go there. And they just like my kids. Like my older son played lacrosse. I brought him to a few Wings games. He don't care about the lacrosse. It's just the atmosphere.
Yes.
Just having a good time. Like that's like you don't have to be into the team, but like I go and I watch the game. But the kids are going there a good time. But it's this one good thing when a team's not doing good is you can bring the family to it. It's not gonna It's not gonna roast your wallet.
Yeah,
correct.
And to be honest with you, like I said, the Flyers should just their main goal right now is to get better, and the only way you get better is unfortunately, they're stuck in purgatory.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
They're stuck in purgatory. Like until they get rid of these guys like JVR and
Yes.
these bad contracts that they have, with the Ryan Ellis's.
So, well, to piggyback off
Cam
you,
Atkins.
And I'll go back to John Torello for when he said a couple of months ago when he said this is just a evaluation year for you right now. I'm like, is there anyone on this roster right now that you want to keep for next year?
Kevin Hayes, Couturier, and Travis Konecny.
And that's it. I mean, goaltenders too. I mean,
Are you like if they got rid of Kevin Hayes? Are you?
No, because I would expect them to get something really good in return.
Well, decent. Yeah, I mean
not decent. Like you got to remember, he's an all-star this year.
Yeah.
So that brings heavy accolades in hockey. So I would love, if they're going to move on from Kevin Hayes, I'd love to see it. I want JVR out of here. He should have been going 2 years ago.
And
Stop picking on JBR.
Dude, listen, I'll stop picking on him when he starts putting the puck in the net.
he's gone.
Yeah, like once every 5 games is cutting it. Dude,
Yeah, and again, Kevin Hayes, and you're right. He's been great for the assists. He sets guys up. He's again, like I saw that pass yesterday between 2 defenders, and he found Scott Lofton wide open.
Yeah,
And for
you're really missing Couturier this year, though. You see that on their penalty kill. Although it hasn't been bad of late, their penalty kill, but I think having him back in the lineup will kind of help out as well. For next year. But
one thing I noticed about the Flyers, though, they haven't been really going to the sin bin. I think they only went twice yesterday. The game against Chicago, they were barely in the sin bin. So
that's a good thing, man.
That's a good plus, and they're scoring on shorthanded goals. So there are some things you like. But like you say, gotta keep it a bean. They're stuck in the middle again. They're too far out from getting Connor Bedard, a top quality player.
Well, you don't know that. I mean, because if you remember,
it's not impossible with the lottery. I get it, but it does hurt our chances significantly.
Listen, right. Was it 3 years or whatever the year they drafted Noel Patrick?
Yeah.
The Flyers didn't even send representatives.
Steve has a good point here, too. I was thinking about this the other night. Tippett and Frost have the rest of the year to show that they're not a fluke.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Steve. I've been watching them kind of closely because listen, when we do what we do and the love for the teams that we have, when the team's bad, you watch. Hey, we have to watch it because it's our job. But on top of it, we're fans. We've been growing up with these teams. I watch it and I'm like, if I know this team's going to be bad, like
you gotta pick certain players.
Like I said this year, like I didn't expect the Eagles to do what they're doing. I expect the Eagles to be good and hopefully get into the playoffs. But my good eye I was going to keep on was Jalen Hurts. Is he going to make the moves? And obviously, yes, he's done that. But the same thing here. I'm keeping my eye on Frost and Tippett because Frost for a while looked like he was going to be a bust.
Right.
Let
me ask you guys too. What's your take on Farabee?
I like him. I like him too. Yeah, he would be another one that I would keep. Like he's really.
Listen, nobody is untouchable if the price is right. But yeah, no,
there's certain guys that you got to keep as a core.
Those are core guys. You need something. You can't sell the entire team and then rebuild it. So yeah, you get your
Konechny, Farabee, Couturier.
Yeah,
and then you see like Frost and Tippett. You make them apart. Oh, and Tippett's a good hockey player.
Right.
So
hey, good.
No, just getting back off to your point though. They got to get the nucleus. And I think that's what they're trying to figure out this year. So them trying to make a playoff run is just stupid when you're still trying to figure out.
And to your point, to be honest with you, they are taking care of a lot of bad teams, which is good. But when you're facing good teams, so far the only 2 teams they've taken care of are the LA Kings and the Capitals. I mean, you fell apart to Toronto at home. You fell apart. You knew you were going to get spanked by Boston. So and this is going to be one of those games Sunday night against the Jets. The Jets are second or third on the West, in the conference of the West, Western Conference. I think they're number 2. So it's going to be another one of those battle tests and see where they are. Now, granted, you're not going to go in there with Carter Hart.
Number 2 on the Central Division. The Jets, that is. They're number 2 in the Central Division, and they are trying to see here.
I think they're number 2 in the Western Conference.
They are. Yes, they are number 2.
Yeah. So you're going to get battle tested tonight. I think though, like you said, if both teams are playing with a couple of fatigue legs, I think somebody's going to come up big tonight. Maybe the Farabees of the world come up big. Maybe like another Wayne Allison. He's been playing really, really good for the Flyers. I think he comes up big.
And let me just put you this way. Just point this out. The Boston Bruins points wise are at 76, right?
Woo!
The closest one to them, hold on one second here.
Pittsburgh Penguins on that second wild card spot. Or no, you're talking about Boston.
The second points.
Oh, okay.
Are the Hurricanes at 66?
Yeah,
10 points differential to number 2 to the rest of the league. The Bruins, I don't see falling off. And every ounce of me saying this is painful. I'd rather pass glass right now. Like it is bad to say this. It's like talking good about Dallas or the Giants or the Pittsburgh Penguins or the Mets. I hate doing it, but this is what we do.
Yeah,
you have to be objective at times.
Right, and look,
but they are a damn good, well-oiled hockey team.
And when talking earlier, maybe it's this orange monster I'm having. Maybe it's it comes with the orange. Puts the orange inside of you. And look, I'm only talking about from optimistic and
Stop.
hoping for the
Stop.
best.
Stop.
But look,
Clear your eyes.
hold on. You know me. I'm no. But look, Boston is the real deal of the NHL. They're not sitting on top of the NHL for no reason. And like Al, it pains me to say it, but look, when you see a team that's loaded 1 through 4, guys who could
But you know what's
play
funny?
offense.
Here's something I'm going to let you in on. All right, my buddy Insanio, the
Yeah.
Massolian that comes in here.
Yeah.
He's a Bruins fan. All right, another friend of ours, Joe. They're both. Know what they're saying right now? Oh, it looks real good. Let us wait and see until May when it comes time for them to play in the playoffs, because those guys, like if you're talking to a real Boston fan, they're
up there.
they're waiting for the other foot to come down. They're waiting for the collapse.
And like I said, that's the only optimism I have is just trying to be optimistic. Is hopefully we can catch them, them fall asleep in April or May. So that,
But even if they fall asleep in May, dude, they're like,
well, you might get a goal on them.
yeah, I mean, like
You can't.
Well, I will say this: the Flyers, other than that 6-0 game, the head-to-head
Yeah.
with Boston have been pretty good.
Like you say, you go around the league. I don't see it though. The Toronto Maple Leafs matching up with them. The Hurricanes.
The Hurricanes are probably Carolina's probably
The next best.
team.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what: don't sleep on Tampa either. Don't sleep on Tampa.
So we'll like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see where this team goes from next week on. Again, they got Winnipeg next week as well for next Saturday. So we'll be talking some more Winnipeg hockey. Apparently,
They got I think Tuesday they got the Kings.
Yeah, they got the Kings. So you got some contenders you're going to be facing. So we'll see what happens there. But before we get out of here and call it a day, I want everyone to enjoy the rest of the NFL playoffs. You're going to get tons of fun tonight. And of course the Flyers.
That's my wife's pet name for me.
And of course we're going to have Flyers in Winnipeg tonight. So guys, if you hoping for any kind of optimism, we'll see what happens tonight. But before we get out of here, let's check in with my man David R. Cherry. Guys, working conversation, medical, vehicle accidents, personally injury, criminal law. Hit up my man 610-565-0300. Give my man David R. Cherry a call today.
Yeah, guys, and you know what? If you're looking to go watch these games today, what better place to go than the Dolan's Bar, 24 East Sellers Avenue in Ridley Park. They got the $8 cheesesteaks, wing cheesesteaks, which I've never tried. It's got Pat's Big
Banging, by the way. I had it.
Yeah, banging. Okay.
Oh.
And of course, Pat's favorite sandwich, the Big D. So
I can't wait to put my lips on that.
See, right away. Cut that, Al.
Cut
that.
I don't have to. He says it all the time. I don't need the cut. It's not like something he said by accident. We're going to throw at him all the time. He says it every day.
And he says it with a smile on his face. That's how
what we
scary
love
that
about
is. But anyway, yes, guys, if you are going to go over there today and watch the games, tell PJ that, EOP sent you over there. And it's also a great place to go. And if you're looking to go next week to the NFC Championship game, why not go to sherrystix.com? Okay? Like Al was saying earlier, you're not going to get hit with that $100 to $150 fee after you buy the tickets. But the price you see on there is the price you get. And right now, if you enter the code EOP10, you will save 10% off of your tickets. Guys, me and Al both were looking. Believe it or not, we could have saved, if we wanted to go to last night's game, we would have saved probably almost close to $200 on tickets for where they were going.
Actually, could have been more. Could have been closer to $3.
Probably closer to $3.
Yeah.
And
we were looking at it. If we weren't doing the show last night, we were looking to go. We're like,
So I'll tell you what, they have concerts, they have theater tickets. Make sure you go over there. Like I said, if you're looking to go, now's the time because, these tickets are going to be going fast, man. You want to look and see what they're going to have for this NFC Championship game. Again, you get additional 10% off by putting in the promo code EOP10. And
actually, I'll tell you a quick story. I had a friend of mine reach out to me. She's a giant Pink fan. And Pink tickets are hard to come by.
Hey.
Speaking of Pink, and actually she added another show. I believe there was a Monday and a Tuesday show now in September, and they sold out quickly, and she couldn't get them, and they tried going to the other places, and they're like, the tickets weren't terrible. I could afford them until I went to checkout, and it went from a $300 purchase to a $600 purchase, and I'm like, oh yeah, that does make a difference. And they go, well, I want to thank you. I'm like, why? Like, well, I want to share these tickets.
Mm-hmm.
I paid that, and I saved a lot less, and the 10% off made it even more affordable than I could have ever imagined. So thank you, and they thank Cherry's Ticket. So you got to try it out. And like I said, it's not just for sports.
And of course, guys, if you guys want to go to the Super Bowl, and look, the Birds, in case that they lose, next weekend, guys, you guys get your full refund back if you guys cannot make that trip. So they'll take care of you. So guys, put your down payment today if you feel like you want to go. Feeling it, you feel like the Birds are going to go on it, and you feel like if they lose, get your full refund back 100%. 100%, you get your money back. Give him a shout out today. My man Vinny will take good care of you. Trust me on that. So, and guys, I want one more thing about Philly sports trips. I got the chance to hang out with Vinny Friday morning. Great guy. And guys, if you guys are looking to get on that Sixers versus Nets bus trip, only $240. So, guys, again, the bus trip is starting to sell out. So, guys, if you're looking to get on it, hit them up today before they run out of space.
All right, our boy Sean Killer Kilray checking in. Says, have a great day, Mike, Al, and Pat, the caddy Bernard at the golf course today. I don't know.
He does like he's like the guy that the golfer gave him $10. Thanks, mister.
Yes, yes.
Oh man. Well, you know what, Pat? We
What's
had
up,
fun.
Al?
I think we should do this again next week. What do you say?
Hey, listen, I think so. But Mike, let me ask you. I haven't asked you this in a little while. What's the game plan for today? What are you going to eat, buddy?
Believe it or not, my wife has leftover Sicilian pizza. So I'm gonna heat that up, and I'm gonna sit back and watch worry-free football all day, and communicate with my buddies on Pal Talk, and just have fun. So
I think today is a good wings day.
There you go.
I think today.
I think any day is a good wings day.
Yeah, think there's three things that men cannot turn down: pizza, ice cream, and wings. I don't think you could say no to any.
Ice cream.
Of course, you can't say no.
I'll go with the ice cream. I'm an ice cream hoe.
Yeah, I love loading my.
I'm lactose intolerant, so that makes it worse. So
I don't know. I work for an ice cream company.
So
yeah.
I'm like,
so you're running all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's my. But dude,
I'm with you. So like again, I'm with
good ice cream goes a long way.
Yeah, I love loading my belly with cream. I know later it's going to.
Okay. On that note, guys, for Big Al, my partner, Pat, the pink shirt wearing Bernard, I'm Mike Laro. Have a good day. We'll see you next week.